ao Seminário Internacional sobre o Sistema de Educação da Finlândia, promovido pelo Colégio Rio Branco em parceria com a Embaixada da Finlândia.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for the kind invitation to be here. I'm very honored, and I'm especially honored to have young people in the audience. And thank you very much for the splendid and even moving presentation of the education program of the foundation. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when I came to Brazil for the first time ever 2 days ago, what did I see in your newspaper, Correio Brasiliense? I saw a huge article entitled Barreiras à Parceria Universidade Empresa. What I'm going to talk about today here is how we in Finland try to remove these barriers. My title is Education, Research and Innovation. So, the challenge for education, research and innovation, do we have a problem with the microphone, with the echo? You hear me well? Okay. So the challenge for education, research and innovation is really not less or more than the future of the Finnish society. So we have very big challenges, and Jan already referred to the small and aging population, 5.4 million, and Finland will be the first country in Europe to have less taxpayers than those to be provided for by tax money. We have a fragmented education system, a research system, and innovation system. We have too many universities, 14 at the time, polytechnics 25, and state research institutes 16. And we do have a too slow translation of research findings into innovations, into business, products, services, and finally jobs. We are now living in an economic downturn period, and this is the case since 2008. So we have a decrease of GDP, we have lost 23% of world export share, we have a great number of jobs lost, and our industrial sector is under reorganization. So we need growth, new jobs, more tax income to keep the well-being of the society and keep the economic running. We need a dynamic knowledge triangle for sustainable growth, employment, and competitiveness. And what is the knowledge triangle? So we start here. I have a pointer. We start here with policy. We have the political decision makers who have to design an intelligent strategy and target money for the first corner of the knowledge triangle, which is education. And I will be concentrating on higher education. They also need to target money for research. This is now here funded in Finland mostly with public money, and here we are creating knowledge from this public money. So then, from research, we have the pathway to innovation. And here we don't have public money only anymore, but the private sector is joining in, companies, and we have here a need for another talent, which is entrepreneurship, another passion, and along this pathway, we are making money from knowledge. And education, a highly and well-educated civil society, is a benefit for society. Research, the findings, the enlargement of the knowledge base of mankind is the benefit of society. And of course, innovations and the economic benefit is for society. So now we have evidence in Finland that this triangle works. We went at the beginning of 90s into the worst economical recession in 100 years in the country, and then the government decided to invest in education, research, and innovation. And the outcomes in less than 10 years were absolutely fabulous. So the industrial sectors changed from resource-based to knowledge-based. There was a growth of industrial production which exceeded that in the United States. Finland was very soon, in 8 years, at the top levels of competitive rankings worldwide. The public research and development investment, which was put according to the decision of the government, this catalyzed investment from the private sector, and so Finland was transformed from a resource-based paper and pulp mainly into a knowledge-based economy, a knowledge-based society. Today, we are in a different situation. We have the economic downturn, of course, but our long-term competitiveness has been maintained. Due to these earlier investments 20 years ago, we are suffering from short-term competitiveness, deficiency, and now we are not anymore striving to be a knowledge-based economy because the resources worldwide, the natural resources, are now giving new promise. But in utilizing these natural resources, we need new technologies, and this underlines the importance of education and research and innovation again. So the first corner of the knowledge triangle, education, in this case higher education, we have renovated the university system very recently. We have a new act as of the beginning of 2010. So first I will describe to you very shortly the Finnish higher education system. It is based on two pillars. The annual intake of students is about 57,000. It's open access to all, but of course according to capabilities, regional equality, and free of charge. These are the main principles. One of the two pillars is the universities, 14 as I mentioned. Student enrollment, you can see the numbers there. We have a high number of doctoral degrees issued per year, and this sort of underlines the ambition to reach the knowledge economy, and all the universities are funded by the state. And then the other pillar are the polytechnics, 25 of them at the moment. Student enrollment similar to that in the universities. They issue bachelor degrees, which are vocational and professional ones. They also can issue professional master's degree in selected fields, and these institutions are funded partly by the state and partly by municipalities. And these polytechnics also have regional development tasks. So, in a nutshell, the reform of our universities, they are all public, except for a little variation and refinement according to the new law. So the aim was to raise the autonomy and at the same time the accountability of the universities. And the universities were detached from the public administration. Nobody is civil servant anymore in the universities. The universities are now independent legal persons with capital. So they are independent in designing their strategies, using their finances, and HR, human resources policy. The leadership was renovated, external members into the boards for decision-making of strategy in the universities, empowerment of the rector. And the state gave assets to the universities. Now, not before, the universities own their buildings and own their premises. They have a right for fundraising and business activities. We have a new funding model for the universities which rewards intelligent strategy and its implementation. And in this process, several of the universities were merged so that the number of 20 is now 14. So we need a high-quality, complementary, and synergistic system of universities in the country to really support the development of the society and the economy. Now, let's go back to the triangle and let's have a look at the second corner, research. Just a few words about the public funding agency for research, which is the Academy of Finland. Most of the research is done in universities in our country. Some fundamental research is also carried out in the state research institutes. So the task of the Academy of Finland is to give funds for researchers, for scientific research, for researcher training, and also for mobility of researchers. And also we have a task to develop national infrastructure policy and handle money for that, to promote international collaboration and serve as an expert in science policy issues. Some figures at the bottom of the slide. In 2012, the Academy of Finland gave out 324 million euros for fundamental research, more than 3,000 applications per year. Success rate is below 20%. The competition is very tough. Only the best researchers are rewarded, and about 5,000 researchers per year benefit in one way or another from the funding, from the public funds targeted for fundamental research. Maybe I skipped the overall picture of funding. Maybe an important thing here is to highlight the following. I just talked about funding of fundamental research here carried out by the Academy of Finland. Tekes is the public funding agency for pre-commercial applicational research, which now drives towards innovation. And as you can see, its budget is higher than that of the Academy of Finland, and this is a token for the great interest for driving innovation and competitiveness via research in the country. Now, let's have a look then at the third cornerstone, innovation, where we try to make money from knowledge, and we need the entrepreneurs here. Usually, totally new inventions, which change the world by research, are coming from free fundamental research. And I just mentioned here very quickly 2 examples. Albert Einstein, more than 100 years ago, developed the theory on paper of optics. 50 years later, a couple of researchers in the United States took up this information, started to do experiments, and they developed a laser. Everybody knows what is a laser. Take 50 more years, and laser is used everywhere. It's used in neurosurgery, it's used to cut steel, it's a total commercial success, and now we cannot live without a laser anymore. The LED, the light-emitting diodes, this is a more recent example. Suji Nakamura in Japan, some 15 years ago, single-handedly created the theory for light-emitting diodes, which is a totally other principle of lightning than the Edison bulb. And he created the materials. Now it's a smashing success. You have LED everywhere. Digital reading, Blu-ray is based on LED, and we have it in Christmas decorations to street lights, to traffic lights. So I feel that, and many, I'm not alone here, of course, that it is a moral obligation for fundamental researchers to at least consider whether their findings can be applicable. And there are short-term and long-term benefits. Long-term research enriches the knowledge base of mankind. It can take, tens of years, 100 years, even more, to realize that this research is now, we realize that it's useful for mankind in one way or another. And then we have the shorter-term goals, translation of research findings to business jobs today. And wise science policy combines the two. So it safeguards the money for fundamental research, which means the creativity of individual researchers with wise overarching goals, which then benefit society. Now, just very shortly, that in Finland we have created a new instrument to accelerate innovation. And the idea is that university researchers, together with researchers in companies, define research agendas which try to find answers to known problems. And we call these strategic centers for science, technology, and innovation. There's a nice acronym for them, SHOCs. And these are non-profit companies. And the aim is really to make breakthrough innovations which have global importance, which are transformable into business and jobs and well-being of the society. And over the 5 last years, about 1 billion euros were dedicated to the activities of the SHOCs to accelerate innovation. And most of this money was given out by Tekes, the public funding agency. Here you can see the themes that the SHOCs work in: bioeconomy, energy environment, metal products, information communication industry and services, built environment, and health and well-being. These are universal domains, and you in Brazil are interested more or less in the same domains of activity. Now, Finland, as we saw in Jana's slide, is performing pretty well. Relatively well in what concerns innovation. And so the performance is pretty good. Here we have the innovation scoreboard of the European Union of last year. And according to certain metrics, we have the member states of the European Union here. And so Finland ranks in 12, number 4 in the overall innovation performance after I can't read the first one. Anybody can read this? Maybe UK, Germany, Denmark, and Finland. Sorry, Sweden, of course. Sweden is the champion. Sweden, Germany, Denmark, and Finland. So what are the main observations which can be read in this scoreboard? The strong innovation performance in Finland is mainly based on highly skilled human resources. And here we, of course, are benefiting from the fruits of the primary education. Also, we have a high investment into research and development from the public sector and the private sector. We have a lot of patent applications, relatively speaking, and there seems to be a clear connection of scientific output and technological specialization. However, there are challenges. So nevertheless, we have only a low contribution of high and medium tech goods to the trade balance. This is a little bit of a surprise, as our electronic sector is very important. And then the innovation base, it is said, has to be broadened to capitalize on scientific quality, to take more fundamental science into the chain of innovation. And then we suffer from a low level of internationalization of our innovation base. And in this connection, I would just very briefly show to you what sort of international ambitions the country has, what concerns now collaboration in science and innovation. And I start here with Latin America, and my list here comprises those areas of the globe that are outside of the European Union and Nordic countries, which of course are our next neighbors in these activities. So in Brazil, we have collaboration with the sister organization of the Academy of Finland, the CMPQ in sustainable energy, in photonics, in imaging techniques. We have with the FAPESP joint programs in biodiversity, material science. Then with the Brazilian government, we have the Science Without Borders. And you youngsters, please, if you choose the university path, as you should, and if you're then interested in embarking on a scientist career, look at these possibilities that your government is giving you to go abroad, learn new things, come back and fertilize the society here in Brazil. We have also with Chile a program on sustainable energy. Now I'm approaching the end of my presentation. Now once more you see this innovation triangle so that you really memorize it. And now we have made a journey from policy, education, research, entrepreneurship, and to innovation, and we are back at the society. The citizens elect their representatives in the parliament. They elect their political decision makers. And so it's up to the society now then to do that and have wise people, wise politicians to really take care of the policies and the money to boost education and research, which then hopefully together with the private sector is yielding innovations. And here, my last slide describes to you the political decision-making apparatus in Finland, which now are the decision makers, what concerns all these activities that I described to you, which are paid for by public money. So the parliament, of course, decides. The parliament and the government is aided by the Research and Innovation Council, which is chaired by the Prime Minister. They drive science policy forward in Finland for the political decision makers to take their choice. So the policies, the grand policies are driven here and developed here. And then the Ministry of Education, Science and Culture is then mandated to funnel from the state budget the resources to the Academy of Finland for fundamental research and to the universities. And then the Ministry of Employment and Economy funnels money to TEKES, the Public Funding Agency for Innovations, which then is expected to transform the fundamental research findings created in the universities by the educated people and researchers into innovations. Thank you very much.